Hello and welcome to Let's Chat. I'm your host, Valerie Costa, and today we have Eliza Tudor, the Executive Director of the Nevada County Arts Council with us.
Hi,
Welcome,
Valerie.
Eliza.
Great to be here at Nevada County Media.
Yes, it is a wonderful place, and we're excited to have you today. We're coming up on the holiday season, and a great gift to give is art. So the Arts Council is a wonderful organization to talk to about that. But before we talk about anything specific like that, let's discuss the Nevada County Arts Council. What exactly is it?
Well, if you imagine a big map of California with 58 counties in all, the idea is that each county has one county arts agency that kind of reports in to a mothership, otherwise known as the State Agency for the Arts, California Arts Council. And in Nevada County, that's us. So our remit is to really care for the sort of creative sector ecosystem and nurture basically an industry called the arts in Nevada County. So it's a pretty big remit, and to do that, each year we go before our county board of supervisors and we give an annual report, and then we are the county board of supervisors passes a resolution naming Nevada County Arts Council eligible to be the state local partner with the Arts Council, California Arts Council. So it's a big responsibility for a little agency.
It is, and so you cover both Eastern and Western Nevada County, or does Truckee have their own?
No, yes and no. We cover the entire county, so north, south, east, and west. And in Nevada County, because of the shape and the geography of the county, we tend to think of just east and west. But I find it quite a useful exercise to sort of consider the supervisorial districts as a measure for how well we're doing in terms of how we're reaching communities, the diverse populations within Nevada County. But yes, east and west. In Truckee, we have a program called Arts Incubator at Nevada County Arts Council. An Arts Incubator provides fiscal sponsorship for projects that don't perhaps yet have their 501c3 charitable status, and maybe they don't want it, maybe that's burdensome to them, and yet they want to apply for funds to do good work in the community. So in Truckee, one of the ways that we keep our finger on the pulse is by serving Truckee Arts Alliance. We helped create Truckee Arts Alliance, and it's sort of like a tiny Nevada County Arts Council that's very specific to the Eastern Nevada County community.
Okay, so you kind of serve as a fiscal agent for smaller arts groups that want to apply for grants. That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
And I know a few years ago we received 2 of the designations as official art districts within California. And so I know that had to be renewed every once in a while. Did that get renewed?
No, and it's funny you should mention that because the renewal is just coming up. So you're quite right, Valerie. In 2017, Nevada County Arts Council, in partnership with both cities of Nevada City, City of Grass Valley, and both chambers of commerce in the western part of the county, applied jointly for state designation as the only Twin City California Cultural District in the state. And we got it. It was amazing. And it was through a partnership and a drawing together of community and arts sector stakeholders. And then in the eastern part of the county, we also applied with the town of Truckee, Truckee Arts Alliance, Truckee Public Art Commission, and the Chamber of Commerce up there, along with the Downtown Merchants Association. Again, we made a joint application and got it. So we're really quite unique as a rural county in California.
Mm-hmm. So you said the renewal process is coming up. Is that going to be renewed, or is that, or do they choose different counties each time?
They don't. I mean, we could, anyone can call themselves, any community could call themselves a cultural district, but only a very few communities across California, 14 in all, have been chosen as state designated cultural districts under an assembly bill, so it's under legislation, but it came without money. So the great thing is that in early 2022, the governor proposed a sum of money at last to support the California cultural districts and to support the birth of new cultural districts, to support more diverse populations. But in order to apply for and that passed legislation, it passed both Senate and Assembly and made its way into the official budget, which is fabulous. In order to apply for those funds in early 2023, we're going to need to reapply for state designation. It's a 5-year designation. The idea is to reapply every 5 years, and we're at that 5-year mark now, interrupted only by, of course, a major global pandemic.
Yes, that did put a kibosh on many of the arts, but not necessarily. I mean, one thing that I loved during that time was how creative artists got.
Yeah.
Both visual and performing artists, especially the performing artists. I mean, we saw performing artists from like international superstars to local people using the internet.
Yeah.
Thank God for the internet during COVID, to keep us entertained and engaged. And so there's something really unifying about art in all of its forms.
Totally.
And so I know that you were working during that time, I believe, to support our local artists and make sure that they could survive through that difficult time. How did you support artists during that time?
The best thing that any nonprofit can do in order to both survive and thrive and remain relevant within a community is to partner with as many relevant, local, appropriate organizations. So we got together with all the other arts organizations, especially the larger ones that had even the smallest amount of capacity to partner. And we created an artist relief fund led by Nevada County Arts Council. And we pulled in the 2 California cultural districts here in Nevada County to do that. And we raised about, I think it's just under 40,000. But simultaneously, we also applied for CARES Act funding at the beginning of the pandemic to re-grant out to arts organizations who were supporting communities of color hard hit by COVID. So those 2 things, the sort of state, federal monies and then the very local support were coming in, through which we could re-grant both to organizations and to artists. So it was fabulous. And again, we couldn't have done it without the cooperation of our partners within the community.
Yes, we have a very active, collaborative community, and it's really wonderful.
It has to be, doesn't it? Because we're so small.
It does, it does. But that's one of the things I love about Nevada County is how we all come together and work together for the greater good. And the Arts Council is a great example of that. So what is next? How are you supporting artists now post-COVID as everyone's kind of coming out? And there was a lot of interesting art that came out of that and new artists. How are you supporting our local artists at this time?
So an interesting sort of segue into this part of the conversation would be, responding to your observation about how artists themselves responded and how they became resilient during COVID. Was we all noticed how great the arts are, how artists and organizations who support artists, how great they are at telling the story of whatever is meaningful to us in society at any given time. In many ways, they are the second responders. We don't rush into homes that are on fire during these catastrophic fires that we're having, but we tell the story of them. Nevada County Arts Council during the pandemic was actually rolling out one of the largest projects we've ever done, called Forest Fire in eastern Nevada County, which told the 13,000-year history of forests, since the receding of the last ice age, and then how our indigenous populations since that time have nurtured the forests. And we employed 20 artists, about 20 artists. We commissioned them to create original works of art to tell that story. And of course that's so relevant. Now as we come out of COVID, we've been named what's called an administering organization for the state. So California Arts Council has made Nevada County Arts Council responsible for administering and re-granting close to $3.5 million worth of funds that will go directly to artists. And these are workforce development funds from the governor's budget, from his task force on recovery and workforce development. And we are in the midst of creating a program that's relevant to 19 counties, with Nevada County leading the way. So it's a very exciting moment for us, and will remain so for the next 2 years. And I think this is what, as a responsible county arts agency, we can be thinking globally. We can be thinking of the big picture, because our role is not to compete with other organizations within the community, but to think, what can we do that's different that will bring in sustenance for our local community? So that's one very exciting thing.
And what types of artists are considered under the Arts Council? Arts, is a very broad term.
Of course.
Please tell us all the different types of artists that you represent.
Absolutely, and we have a fabulous artist directory. I'll answer this again in a rather roundabout way. During the pandemic, we created this really cute little program called Shopping with Artists during the first holiday season, because we wanted our community to have a sort of alternative but local shopping experience, and for artists to benefit from that, and to bring the two sectors together, business and art with the community, called Shopping with Artists. And that morphed into an artist directory, which we now maintain. It's free for artists to belong to. They just submit their profile and their picture, and we created this whole online presence for them.
It's actually really fabulous. It's
lovely.
A really,
It's
really
gorgeous.
great website and directory.
Thank you so much. We're very proud of it. And we can also, obviously one's forever making improvements. So if one were to go onto that directory, you would see that we have a proliferary, not just of visual artists, but artists working in theatre and music and performance of all kinds, dance, crafts people and jewelers and painters and sculptors. So with the California Creative Core, the program that I was referring to a little moment ago, artists of all descriptions can apply for funding, so it's pretty exciting. And our role is to support, a wide spectrum of different kinds of art.
What are your partner organizations? I know that the Arts Council, you partner with a lot, I would guess like the Center for the Arts and Miners Foundry. I know that those two. What other entities do you partner with?
So we have many different programs. We teach 1,000 kids a week on average throughout the entire school year over 6 different school sites and community centres. So at the moment we're partnering with the Penn Valley School District and the Grass Valley School District, 2 different schools in 2 places. And then we also partner with Earl Jameson Education Options and Bright Futures for Youth, where we offer applied theatre for change classes every week across the whole year for our most vulnerable kids. So that's an example of how one cannot work in isolation. One needs one's partners. They provide the kids most in need, and we provide the expertise and the teachers, etc., etc. We have multiple partners in multiple different programs. So Nevada County Media being one of them.
Yes, that's a good plug. And so you have the grant program coming up, which is very exciting. Are there any other new programs that you would like to talk about that are, coming up in the next little bit of time that people should be aware of?
Very much so. We're creating the most extraordinary publication, it's sort of a journal. I hesitate to call it a magazine. There are many marvelous publications that are magazines within the community, which is great, both local and regional. So we're creating a journal which also, presents itself as a guide to the arts locally, and it's an annual publication called Nevada County Muse.
That's a lovely title.
I know, it's beautiful, and we're working with Jessie Locks as the co-editor and publisher, and basically offering free listings for artists. It's about to go to print soon, but this hopefully will become an annual publication that will have fabulous stories. We've kind of turned the algorithm of your general sort of 70% advertising, 30% editorial on its heels, so that now we have less advertising and much more stories and much more fabulous, edgy editorial. So that will be exciting, and that's going to come towards the end of the year. You'll see it in print and online.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so if someone is an artist or part of an arts organization, or is just interested in learning more about the Arts Council, what should they do?
They should look us up at nevadacountyarts.org, nevadacountyarts.org, and they should find how to become a member, how to get connected with our 2 California cultural districts. They should sign up for Muse, get involved with Muse, become part of our artist directory. Check out our cultural asset map, which basically names and gives place to every single cultural entity, boutique, artisan, business in Nevada County. It's amazing.
Well, we have so many artists, it seems like that would just be one big flaw, but I have seen that, and it's quite wonderful. It is a great resource.
We also, another thing that's very interesting that we're doing at the moment is we're again measuring the economic impact of the arts. We've partnered with Americans for the Arts for the second time. The first time we published an incredible study of the economic impact of the creative sector in 2019. And we're doing it again post-pandemic. We want to know what our creative landscape looks like following, a sort of fairly devastating period for all of us. So that's rolling out now. We're surveying audiences as arts organizations open up, and we'll be surveying for many months to come. And then we start surveying the organizations themselves. And then mid next year, we'll produce another gorgeous study, and fingers crossed as to what it tells us.
Well, I know that I've been to several performances, both large festivals at the fairgrounds to little intimate performances, and they all seem very well attended. So I have to think that people right now, especially after being, stuck inside for a couple of years, are hungry for that connection with others and for the art and the things that they miss. I know what I missed most during COVID was going to the fairgrounds for music festivals.
I know.
And being able to do that again is just everything. And,
it's a privilege, isn't it?
It is.
It's a privilege.
It is.
And I think the more all of us, you and I, and the more we can do to encourage folks to get back out into the community and attend performances with Music in the Mountains, with In Concert Sierra, with Minus Foundry, with Center for the Arts, and all the incredible other sort of public-facing offerings, and get out of our armchairs, if you like, and attend in-person events. It's important because we need to retrain ourselves to do that.
Yes.
Over time.
Well, some people do. I was like,
yes.
Let's go and do all the things.
Totally,
my husband's like, no, we can't do any more shows. Enough. I need a weekend at home. But it's so wonderful, and we have such a wealth of opportunity to enjoy the arts here in Nevada County. So thank you to the Arts Council for helping to keep that going and make that happen.
Thank you, Valerie.
Is there anything else that you would like our audience to know about the Arts Council?
Well, we have been named one of the top-ranking arts councils in California, not for the first time, which is amazing. Again, we're a very small agency, and yet California Arts Council has ranked us exemplary for, I think, the second or third year in a row, which is great. So it's great for our local community to take pride in the amazing local agencies that we have here. So often we look beyond our county lines, which is also very healthy, but sometimes it's great to acknowledge the amazing work that each other are doing.
Yes, it is. Well, Eliza, thank you so much for being here today. Please
pleasure.
go visit NevadaCountyArts.org, was that it?
NevadaCountyArts.org, exactly.
Okay, well, make sure to do that. Check out the directory and see how you can get involved. Thank you again, Eliza.
It's a pleasure.